Page 218, Late Autumn. Miss Misquick, nope, not Misquick, but looks like it, calls us one by one and says, come up to the board and write your name. When it's my turn, I walk down the aisle from my seat in the back, write Jacqueline Woodson, the way I've done 100 times, turn back toward my seat, proud as anything of my name in white letters on the dusty chalkboard. But Miss M stops me, says, in cursive too, please. But the Q in Jacqueline is too hard, so I write Jackie Woodson for the first time, struggle only a little bit with the K. Is that what you want us to call you? I want to say, no, my name is Jacqueline, but I'm scared of that cursive Q. No, I may never be able to connect it to the C and U, so I nod even though I am lying. The other Woodson. Even though so many people think my sister and I are twins, I am the other Woodson, following behind her each year into the same class she had the year before. Oh, that would be exhausting. Does that happen to any of you? Where you have an older brother or sister and they're like, oh, are you so-and-so's brother or so-and-so's sister? Ugh, you want your own identity, especially as a middle school student. Each teacher smiles when they call my name. Woodson, they say. You must be Odella's sister. Then they nod slowly over and over again, call me Odella, say, I'm sorry, you look so much like her, and she is so brilliant. Then wait for my brilliance to light up the classroom. Wait for my arm to fly into the air with every answer. Wait for my pencil to move quickly through the too easy math problems on the sheets. Wait for me to stand before class, easily reading words even high school students stumble over. And they keep waiting, and waiting, and waiting, and waiting, until one day they walk into the classroom, almost call me Odell, then stop. Remember that I am the other Woodson, and begin searching for brilliance at another desk. Dang, that's sad. Writing number 2. On the radio, Sly and the Family Stone are singing Family Affair, the song turned up because it's my mother's favorite, the one she plays again and again. You can't leave 'cause your heart is there, Sly sings, but you can't stay 'cause you've been somewhere else. The song makes me think of Greenville and Brooklyn, the two worlds my heart lives in now. I am writing the lyrics down, trying to catch each word before it's gone. Then reading them back out loud to my mother. This is how I am learning. Words come slow to me on the page until I memorize them, reading the same books over and over, copying lyrics to songs from records and TV commercials, the words settling into my brain, into my memory. Not everyone learns to read this way. Memory taking over when the rest of the brain stops working, but I do. Sly is singing the words over and over as though he is trying to convince me that this whole world is just a bunch of families like ours, going about their own family affairs. Stop daydreaming, my mother says. So I go back to writing down words that are songs and stories and whole new worlds tucking themselves into my memory. Remember, the author of this book, these poems are about her life. So I think it's really interesting that she's an award-winning author, but really struggled with writing and reading growing up. Makes me think that really anything is possible. Page 223, Birch Tree Poem. Before my teacher reads the poem, she has to explain, a birch, she says, is a kind of tree. Then magically she pulls a picture from her desk drawer and the tree is suddenly real to us. When I see birches bend to the left and right, she begins, across the lines of straight or dark trees, I like to think. And when she reads, her voice drops down low, so low and beautiful, some of us put our heads on our desks to keep the happy tears from flowing. Some boys been swinging them, but swinging doesn't bend them down to stay, as ice storms do. And even though we've never seen an ice storm, we've seen a birch tree, so we can imagine everything we need to imagine, forever and ever, infinity. Amen. How to listen number 6. When I sit beneath the shade of my block's oak tree, the world disappears. 226. Reading. I am not my sister. Words from the books curl around each other, make little sense until I read them again and again, the story settling into memory. Too slow, the teacher says. Read faster. Too babyish, the teacher says. Read older. But I don't want to read faster or older or any way else that might make the story disappear too quickly from where it's settling, inside my brain, slowly becoming a part of me. A story I will remember long after I've read it for the second, third, 10th, 100th time. Stevie and me. Every Monday, my mother takes us to the library around the corner. We are allowed to take out 7 books each. On those days, no one complains that all I want are picture books. Those days, no one tells me to read faster, to read harder books, to read like Dell. No one is there to say, not that book, when I stop in front of the small paperback with a brown boy on the cover. Stevie. I read. One day my mama told me, you know you're going to have a little friend come stay with you. And I said, who is it? If someone had been fussing with me to read like my sister, I might have missed the picture book filled with brown people, more brown people than I'd ever seen in a book before. The little boy's name was Stephen, but his mother kept calling him Stevie. My name is Robert, but my mama don't call me Roberty. If someone had taken that book out of my hand, said, you're too old for this, maybe I'd never have believed that someone who looked like me could be in the pages of the book, that someone who looked like me had a story. Can you imagine growing up and not reading a book where characters look like you? Luckily, in 2019, we're able to have books that represent our students, but I can't imagine growing up during the civil rights era where that wasn't allowed. Maybe that's part of why Jackie's having a hard time learning to read and write. Page 229. When I tell my family I want to be a writer, they smile and say, we want to see you in the backyard with your writing. They say, we hear you making up all those stories, and we used to write poems, and it's a good hobby. We'll see how quiet it keeps you. They say, maybe you should be a teacher, or a lawyer, or do hair. Think about it, I say. And maybe all of us know this is just another one of my stories. Daddy Gunner. Saturday morning, and Daddy Gunner's voice is on the other end of the phone. We all grab for it. Let me speak to him. My turn, no mine, until Mama makes us stand in line. He coughs hard, takes deep breaths. When he speaks, it's almost as low as a whisper. How are my New York grandbabies? He wants to know. We're good, I say, holding tight to the phone, but my sister's already grabbing for it. Hope and even Roman, all of us, hungry for the sound of his faraway voice. Y'all know how much I love you? Infinity and back, again I say, the way I've said it 1,000,000 times. And then, Daddy says to me, go on and add a little bit more to that. That's where we're going to stop reading for today. I have like that pit in my stomach where like you can tell something bad is going to happen in the story. I'm worried about Daddy Gunner. Right now, what you're going to do is you're going to check on Schoology for any of your missing assignments that you need to complete. Then what you're going to do is you are going to work on either word scramble or there are some word ladders in a packet that you can complete. You will have VIP groups today. Please make sure that you follow the expectations in each of those groups. I will see you tomorrow or Monday if you don't come to school tomorrow. Bye.